Jesus, you type so fast, dude.
I'm copy pasting. Welcome to the DL Gaming Podcast. My name is Bobby.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Emilio. There is no Christian today. I'm not sure what he's doing. Do you guys know?
Oh, he told us, and I immediately forgot.
Yeah, I'm in the exact same boat.
Yep, same here. He just says he's not going to be on, and then I just ignore him. You don't exist anymore.
Completely cut out. All right, today we're going to be talking about Deep Rock Galactic Season 5, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, and Phasmophobia. But before we do that, I just want to call our attention to our Patreon. You can be part of our Patreon, and we're starting to put some stuff on there. So we posted an audio clip of a trailer that Christian and I made about 2 years ago for a podcast we were considering doing, but just never really got off the ground. It was called The Jedi Archives, and the idea was it was going to be a 15 minute episode every week about a very specific Star Wars character, vehicle, weapon, something in the Star Wars universe. Just like a little snippet. I'm especially proud of this because I actually made this for an assignment in a class I was taking, and I made it in GarageBand. So the intro music and the outro music, all me. It's a banger. But that is on our Patreon. You got to be a Patreon to get it. So I encourage you to do that. Plus, there's a whole bunch of other benefits to being a patron.
What a cock tease, dude. It's like, here's this great intro to this great concept, but it never exists.
Yeah.
And here's a commercial for it, so go check it out.
Here's a commercial for a product you can't buy.
Yeah, I mean, you can buy it.
You can get access to it
buy
now,
it.
Well, not the podcast, just the intro. Right? There is no podcast.
Oh yeah, there's no podcast.
Yeah,
I don't know, but maybe if everybody loves it, maybe it'll pick up steam again. I don't know.
Patreon triples. We have a new podcast.
Yeah. But all right, so let's ping things. So let's note ping. This is where we note something that's interesting, somewhat interesting. Emilio, why don't you start us off here?
It's interesting to us, Bobby, and that's what matters, dude. Who cares if the world does not agree with our pinging? Okay, so I recently got back into Street Fighter after 6 months. Steam tells you how long you've been away from a certain game. Pretty interesting. And I immediately started doing extremely well. Like, I only play Zangief, for those who don't know. I'm a gold player. That's about as good as I get. And I shot up to platinum with no problem. And once I got to platinum, I was promptly told that I don't belong there by the fists in my face. But I did. I'm holding platinum pretty well. Barely. I would say I'm like 50-50 in platinum. So I'm not going any further. But I was like, what happened? What did the time away get me better? What's happening? So it turns out with the Akuma patch, when he was released, there was a lot of balancing, and Zangief got buffed the most out of everybody.
Jesus Christ! So like he wasn't already fucking broken.
Yeah. So his ground and footsie's game has been improved. Like, I have dominance over everybody. I just throw things out there and I win most of the time. And that helps him out a lot. And so, so I'm curious because I didn't gain any more skill. Did I earn platinum, or was platinum handed to me? Like, what do you guys think? It's kind of a weird thought. Or maybe is Zangief in where he should be, and so I should have been in platinum? You know,
so Zangief's playstyle, has Zangief's playstyle changed? Because I remember in the earlier Street Fighters, he was just like really hard to pull off combos, but if you landed them, they did huge amounts of damage. So he was like a big one-hitter type character.
Pretty much. You can kill, if you get in 2 times with him, you can kill. But the problem is he's very big. He has a very big hitbox. He's very slow. So, you know, he's your big guy, your general big guy. But now they made his just his normals very strong, which means he has like normals means just like throwing out a jab or throwing out a kick, and it has priority over a lot of other players. Yeah, it could be that. Another thing is the only 80% of the matches I'm playing are against Akuma. Like everybody's playing Akuma. Like,
yeah, who's a glass cannon, and you just pile drive him twice and you win.
Exactly. Yeah. If I get in there 2 times, he's dead. So that really helps. Although now M. Bison just came out, and I can't do anything against M. Bison. So
yeah, M. Bison's
anyway.
He counters that pretty hard.
Yeah, I can't do any. I can't do. It was embarrassing. I went in the other room. I was like, Sam, I'm a fraud. I don't belong. I don't belong in platinum. They took off my mask and found out.
They took my lunch money.
Yeah, it was bad, dude. I showed her on the bear where they touched me, dude. It was bad. Anyway, so I don't know if I earned platinum, but it's nice that I'm there now.
Well, you got to ride the wave while you can.
Definitely. Yeah. I've heard a couple things about like the ranking for Street Fighter. So apparently, when you rank up like that, you will get opponents that have been on winning streaks, just so that in case that you're a Smurf, that you won't just keep skyrocketing. Right? You won't ruin people's times.
It's like anybody can be a Smurf because your rankings are individual for that character, right?
Correct.
So like a god tier Ken or a world class anybody can just switch characters and then be a Smurf. And
that's what the placements are. That's what the placements are for when you play those new characters, right? Because you have to do new placements all over again.
Yeah.
And so, but
right.
if you come back and like you've been practicing on PlayStation or something, and you're like, all right, now go on PC, it's to prevent from that kind of shit happening. And then second is that with the Street Fighter ranking system, apparently, I just lost my train of thought. Never mind, we're good, dude. I just had a Red Bull because I only had like 4 hours of sleep, so I'm super fucking whacked out right now.
I'm wondering if you sandbag during your placement matches, if it'll end up helping you in the long run. I don't know.
Maybe you do get mad bonuses for getting win streaks. Like you get insane bonuses. As soon as you go past 3 wins in a row, the game's like, get up there, dude. Like, what are you doing down here?
What are you doing down here? Yeah. All right. What are your opinion?
Nick, what do you got?
So Creative Assembly, the guys who make Total War, did a conference, a public conference, because of all the misinformation and disinformation that has been being put out by content creators. There was a lot of like leaks or like attempted leaks or falsified leaks, whatever you want to call them. And they're like, you know what? We're going to start doing this essentially every month, right? We're going to do this at the beginning of the month or the end of the month. And it's going to talk about what is next for Total War. And so this month's thing was about Total War Warhammer because they're talking about the next DLC. It's going to feature Khorne. It's going to feature the ogres, and it's going to feature the greenskins. And so, but the thing is, they're like, we just don't want people getting false information, because as soon as those leaks happened, like the game just started getting negative reviews and positive, like all kinds of shit, right? And so they're like, we're going to be way more transparent. It's going to be live, and it's also going to be in person, so that you can see that like we're not just like doing like community talks and things like that. So I thought that was really interesting.
I mean, they shouldn't have had to. They shouldn't have been spurred to do this. Like, being transparent is the way to go when you have a company. Says a guy who doesn't have a company. But yeah, if you just did it from the beginning, you wouldn't have had that problem at all.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. People love roadmaps too.
Yeah,
and updates on the roadmap.
People love information in whatever form it is, and then they love follow up for that shit. They're just like, oh, okay, like you're actually still working on this. This is actually still happening.
Hey, Bobby, let me cut in here because this came up last night. So Nick shared a picture from the new Players D&D handbook, D&D Players Handbook. So this is the official like thing. And
yeah, this is like the orc homepage. Apparently. So, I love it. It shows
orcs kind of coming from the desert, right? And it's like desert orcs. That's fine. But you look at like what they're wearing and what they're doing and what
their
they
body
seem to
shapes.
be interested in their body, and they're clearly Mexicans. Like it's very inspired by Mexican culture, and one has a sombrero on.
Yep.
It's crazy. And so, so he puts it out there, "Are orcs Mexicans?" And he puts the picture. This is the official player handbook. And to which the Lotion replied, "They are lazy and dumb. So yeah, it all works out." And then Lotion came to town last night, and we were about to meet up. And I said, "Do you realize you just called my entire culture lazy and dumb before we meet up?" And he goes, "Yep, yeah, I did." I was like, "All right, man, I'll see you in a minute." By the way, we went to this new like Dave and Buster's type place, and they have Japanese style claw machines, and it's huge, like so many. I would say 150, 200 claw machines, 300, 250, a lot of claw machines. And let me tell you, it spends daddy's money quickly.
Yeah, I always felt the claw machines were a scam. They're like a carnival game.
Yeah, I mean, I think even if you win, they win. You know, it was like anywhere from 75 cents a play to $3 a play.
Damn.
And those things cost them probably less than $3, right? So even if you win, they win.
Yeah.
The Lotion just played. He just lived in South Korea for 2 years, and he said these things are everywhere. Like, nobody works there, and it's like a 7-Eleven, and you just go in there and you play claw games, but you can win like big things, like karaoke machines, stuff like
a
that.
College degree.
Yeah. No.
I was thinking bigger.
Yeah.
You're thinking small fish. I'm over here thinking sharks.
Hey, shout out to your nephew or whatever, Bobby. That's a huge accomplishment, dude.
Eagle Scout. Yeah. My nephew just got Eagle Scout.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, man. I'm proud of him. He's doing it all right. Really made me reflect on my life and all the mistakes I've made. But good for him.
For those who don't know, by the way, Eagle Scout is actually a huge achievement in the military. If you have achieved Eagle Scout, when you enlist, you get a free rank up. Like you you don't come in as an E1 or an E2, boom, E3 automatically. Like it's crazy.
Wow. Awesome. All right, I've got one little thing to ping here. Last week I talked about this game called Spec. Little clarification on that. It does not have a leaderboard. However, we've been making our own on the Discord. I just posted mine. I've cleared 32 levels, which I think is more than Christian, and that's really what matters. But the person that is really outshining all of us is Lasagna McGillicuddy, who has cleared, I think, 59 levels at this point, which is just absolutely insane. I think a lot of our listeners have been playing this game. The developer is even hanging out in our Discord, which is really cool.
The dev is in our Discord watching the leaderboards and actively getting feedback and things that he's going to change in the game. Like Lasagna was telling him, he was complaining. He goes, "Okay, I can't beat this level." And then he's like, "Oh, you got to do this." And he's like, "Oh, apparently I didn't make that clear enough for the player. That's good info. I'm going to go change that in the game." Mm-hmm. Like, amazing. It's so cool.
Yeah, really on the maze levels, I've noticed you've got to try different strategies, because I was stuck on 8.3 for a long time, and then I tried something new and I'm like, oh, this makes it so much easier. But yeah, it's I think some people have fallen off because it can be a very rage-inducing game. Like, you've got a series of things that you've got to do absolutely perfect to pass the level. And if you mess one of those up, then, game over, restart. And it's really frustrating if that happens like right at the end. I was there. On 8.3, it took me a long time to get past it, and I beat all the hard parts, and then I went to press a button and I pressed the wrong one, and it just backed me out to the main menu. No. And I was like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. I should have been recording all this, because you could make a montage of how many times I yelled out in anguish. But yeah.
It's funny. Go ahead.
Forever, by the way, developer of Spec, I don't know your name. I'm sorry. I don't. It's rude of me. But if you want to be interviewed on the show, let us know. All right. Either one of us or all of us will interview you. We'll talk about it. As long as you're not crazy, we're good. And even if you are crazy
for making this game, man.
Even if you are crazy, we'll probably
we'll take crazy people too. Yeah, man. It's I think there's 66 levels. Not 100% sure on that, but man, if Lasagna McGillicuddy beats the game, I feel like we need to give him some sort of reward because that is quite a feat.
Hey,
I don't think anyone's going to catch up to him.
Bobby, it's interesting because people are putting up their accomplishments, I guess, and so you'll see somebody get to like a certain level, and it'll be like, hey, I made it to like 13 or whatever, and then another person made it to 13, but one person has 45 deaths and another person has 365 deaths. So it's like, I don't know if you really accomplished the same thing as this other person.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'd like to think it takes some people a little longer to figure things out.
Yeah, that's fine.
I am curious to know if he is playing on a controller or not. I have not been, but it says right when you load up the game, controller recommended. But I always ignore that whenever I see that in a game.
Just a quick shout out to our callback to last episode. I went back to keyboard and mouse when I'm playing Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora. I'm done. I did not grow up playing these kind of games on a controller, and it just doesn't work for me. Like I have a hard time in the menus. I don't know. I feel like out of place. I'm having a harder time picking up the game because I'm also picking up controls. I go back to the mouse and keyboard. It's right there. Like everything's intuitive. There's no problems. So anyway, back to mouse and keyboard.
All right. And back to highlights. So this is the section of the show where we talk about the games that we have been playing this week. I'm super excited to talk about Deep Rock Galactic Season 5. This came out a while ago, 2 weeks ago maybe, and I just haven't had an opportunity to play it until this week. And it is, I've said this probably 2 or 3 times before, but this is like the most significant update they've had. It adds all sorts of new stuff like new enemies, overclocks, a level, some other stuff I didn't realize they added, little visual effects, especially with the HUD, that are a little more high definition, I guess, like when you take damage to your shield or there's a burning or slime acid effect. Just little things like that I noticed in the game that kind of add to its graphical fidelity. It's just a nice little touch, especially for someone like me who's been playing the same game for a super long period of time. The big news is the Drillevator level, though. They added a new level where you are on this device that just drills straight down. And it's a good level. Usually when these new levels come out, they're a lot harder than the other ones. This one, not so much. I don't think it's a very difficult level. And the Drillevator part is actually only a kind of a small part of the level, which was a little disappointing, but that part is a lot of fun. It completely changes the gameplay. You are going down, looking up, and all the enemies are coming from up above. So you are literally shooting, bugs in a barrel almost. And, it seems like it'd be easy, but there's actually, it creates some difficulties as well. So it just kind of flips the gameplay a little bit, and it's a nice little change. I'm having a good time. What's probably the most important thing to me is the level Hazard 5+. So for the longest time, they had the highest difficulty Hazard 5, and it just wasn't difficult enough for people like me who had unlocked so much in the game and have been playing it for a long, long time. It just, I don't know, you could have some modifiers and like make it a little more difficult, but it just, it wasn't providing enough of a challenge, especially if you had 4 people that were just completely geared out. So what they've done is they've added these additional modifiers. There's 4 of them, and they do different things like give you less health, make the enemies stronger, make the enemies quicker, which like I did not see coming. These things just race at you. It's crazy. And then on top of that, for each one of these that you activate, you get a little bit more, a percentage more of experience. So greater risk, greater reward.
It's like it's like skulls in Halo or like affixes in Diablo. That's pretty sick, though. I like that. That makes, I mean, I haven't played that much Deep Rock. I think like literally like 10 hours, which for some people is nothing. I can't imagine how much crazier it is now. So
yeah, the game is just, God, it's come such a long way, especially with the new enemies they've added. It's just, it continues to evolve, and it's weird for me because I have like almost 900 hours in the game, which I thought was a lot. But now I'm playing the game, and I'm like level 480, almost 500. My account's like level 500. I run into people that are like 1,000 plus. So I'm not the big fish anymore. There's people out there that have unlocked and done way more than me.
You're the big fish in my heart, dude. Hey, Bobby, I think we should totally have, or you should interview. His name's Sven again. Soren again. Yeah, it's time. I think he'd come back. Now he's a big fish.
I mean, we've already interviewed him twice. You know what's funny? So when I loaded up Deep Rock Galactic, I forget that I'm like hosting the show here, and I haven't like clicked and shown anything on the stream. So this is going to be a really boring YouTube video, unless you just want to look at our beautiful faces. But when I went to load up the game, I accidentally clicked on Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, and they made a whole bunch of updates to that game too. They've added this new system where you can unlock, you can play these certain modes where you only use one weapon, and then you unlock things for that weapon, and it upgrades that weapon. So when you play the regular mode, you have a more powerful version of that weapon. It's really cool. And they redid the perk system. It was strange because for a minute there, I thought I was in Deep Rock Galactic, and I was like, oh my God, they added this entirely new perk system. And then I realized, oh, I'm in the wrong game.
Bro, you're getting old, dude.
I know, man. But then I just went ahead and played a few rounds of that. And that game, I don't know if it's in 1.0 yet, but that game, they keep adding lots of great stuff to it. And it's just like, it's tough because we move through games so quickly. We don't often go back to them. Yeah, it still is in early access.
That's so wild, dude.
So it just had its third upgrade or update, but it's still in early access. I know this because I'm on the store page and I'm buying it as we speak.
Oh yeah, it's summer sale right now, by the way. So buy your games. This one's on sale for $7.49. I mean, it's $10 normally, which is nothing for this game. This is a really good game.
It's great.
Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. And how much is Deep Rock Galactic? I bought some DLC during the sale, but the game itself, $9.89. That's the best deal you're ever going to get.
That's not yet, dude. Come on, that's so good.
I'm gonna cut in because I'm an asshole here.
No, I'm done, dude. Go ahead.
Because I keep forgetting. I feel like such a dickhead here. Somebody, some great, wonderful, godlike person sent me a game. Sent me Lego Brick Tales off of my wish list, and I cannot find the record. I talked about this already, but I cannot find the record of who sent it to me. Like, it's not in the email from Steam. It's not anywhere in the Steam settings. I've Googled it. You just can't find it. It's just gone. If you don't, I mean, initially in the first thing, when you accept it, it says the name, but I did it at work and I just did it. I was like, I'll thank him later. Either way, I want you to know I have been playing it and I am enjoying it. I did play the demo, and I talked about the demo when I initially played it maybe a year ago. But now that it has its full release, it is a Lego game unlike these other Lego games, like the ones where you're breaking bricks and it's an action game. This is more of a actual building engineering game. A little closer to Polybridge than it is, like a action game. So there's problems in this little Lego world, and you have to fix them by actually building and engineering yourself out of it. I thought it was a great concept, and I started playing, and then next thing you know, I've been on the first bridge for like 10 minutes. I'm like, an engineer, I am not. I'm like, I can't figure this fucking thing out. I tried all kinds of fucking different things, and eventually I figured it out. And after that, it got a hell of a lot easier because I started to understand how the bricks work and where their breaking points are. But you have to think about physics, and you have to think about, it's not overly complex. I just had a rough patch at the first one. The comedy is good, like the little banter before, it's Lego, but they're kind of poking fun at itself. You start in a jungle, and then it's funny because you're trying to fix a theme park with your grandfather, kind of like a Jurassic Park-y thing, and they have a portal that'll take you to different dimensions, but they don't have the tools to fix the theme park. And so you have to go to these other dimensions and make them happier so that you have happy sauce so that you can build the theme park. It's funny because I only build things to make them like very function over form 100%. Like the bridge that I ended up that worked was hideous, like so ugly. And as long as it works, right? If it gets the job done, I'm good. You can play free play later and come back and like, make it fancy. But yeah, it's hideous, dude. The stuff that I'm making, but it gets the job done. But once I get back to the theme park and I built my first ride. That for some reason, because it's not a challenge. You don't have to. You're literally just making it for aesthetics. You have to kit it out. That I really took time and try to make it as pretty as I could. And I found that was very cool from this game because, usually I'm very utilitarian, but I wanted to, it's a theme park. It's supposed to be happy, and look good. So I took time to actually make it look good. And that's cool. Like most games, I do not care about aesthetics at all. Like my own aesthetics, I'll hit random until I like something okay on a character design. But yeah, I really took my time and made a cool little, what is it, a whirl-ty whirl or something like that. And I'm looking around the theme park and I'm like, I can't wait to go build that. So I'm really enjoying the game. And thank you, Mysterious Stranger, once again.
So how do you play through all 9 films if it's a theme park?
No. Sorry, I did. So I'm talking about 2 different games, Bobby. I cut in because, this is Lego Brick Tales. It's a completely different game. Now, I know
I've been showing Lego Star Wars on the screen for like the last 5 minutes.
Yeah. It's because I wanted to make sure that this guy gets his thanks and that I am playing the game. Now, it's a natural thing. I'll jump into the other kind of Lego game, the one that we all know about. A lot of times I give PopCap, is it PopCap? Yeah, a lot of credit because they are just able to get licensing from every single company ever. Like so impressive, right? You a lot of times companies will not sign up if the rival IP has signed up with them. So, if somebody does a Marvel painting, that company that does the painting will not get the DC contract just because they went with them. If you go with Coke, basically you're not going to get Pepsi, and so on and so on. But if you think about these Lego games, they've done the exact same thing, man. They get every IP ever. And I never really thought about that part, the business aspect of Lego as a company. Like, so impressive that you're able to get any IP you want and just Legoize it, And of course, they got Star Wars, which is part of Disney. And so Luna actually did her first Lego. I'm trying to see if it's behind me or not. No, you can't see it from here, but she did her first Lego. It's a little Disney one. I was so proud of her. We worked on it together. She's super proud of it. It's sick, dude. Lego is one of the best companies. But anyways, this is Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. This has 9 films in it, like Bobby said. It has 200 characters, playable characters. And it has 100 vehicles. It's jam packed with content. The first 2 times I tried playing this game, I was overwhelmed by how much stuff there is, and I kind of got turned off to it because I'm playing with a 12-year-old, at the time a 10-year-old, and trying to teach her how to play while trying to learn myself. And we played for a couple hours, but kind of bounced off of it because there's just so much to do. There's the main quest. And then every level has all these kyber crystals in it that you don't have to. It's optional. but they're like jumping and or puzzles to try to figure out how do I get that kyber crystal. You can always see it. It's like glowing right there. You're like, what do I have to do to get this thing out of there? You have progression, you have stories, you have movie clips. I mean, there is, if you're a Star Wars fan and you want content, I don't think there's another game that has more Star Wars content in one game. I looked up the time to beat and it was like 87 hours for a completionist and 34 hours story alone. So you are getting
Christ, dude.
so much content. And it is not, I would say that the environments are so different that it doesn't get too repetitive. I'm having a really good, just this time that I started playing at work now on my Steam Deck, it finally clicked and I'm having such a good time. The writing is it's always comical. Like they're always taking like the innocent, funny approach to everything that's ever happened. And the little quips from all the characters are so good. What's her name says, Padme says to Anakin, "Oh, you were tossing in your sleep last night. Was there a lot of sand in your dreams?" And he goes, "We don't talk about sand," or something like that. It's just like little things. She did something. I forgot what it was. I got a kyber crystal with Padme, and she says, "Oh, I'm going to take this straight to the Senate, and we're going to talk about it for 3 weeks, and nothing will get done." It's just like everybody has this. All these 200 characters have these little quips, and it's just like, man, they packed this game. Now, when I say 200 characters, it's really like 10 characters because it's a different classes, really. So you have your heroes, you have your Jedi, you have your villains, you have bounty hunters, and they can each do something. But you know, you'll have 10 bounty hunters. They have the exact same moves. It's basically the skin that you want, but they're in there and they're voiced a lot of the time. There's a new character. They're still supporting this game. On May the 4th, they just released Luke Starkiller, which was Luke's original name from the third version of the script. And I thought that was cool. You just get to run around with this alternate version of Luke. What else is in this? It's crazy amount of stuff. Yeah, there's character progression, which means like you can buff all your characters, or you could just get specifically into Jedi. I'm having a really good time on the Steam Deck. It's a perfect game for that. It's 91% on Steam. It's on sale for $15. What else do you need? Like, you know, Bobby, are you gonna buy this for $15?
I don't buy games I'm not going to play immediately, so I don't know. It is normally $50, so yeah, this is a really good deal.
It's a really good deal.
But yeah, I don't know, man. The Lego games just don't really work on me. I played the original ones, and I don't get very far in them. Mm-hmm. I think the Jurassic World one was the last one that I really enjoyed.
I think the Lego games. I think
if you could enjoy that one, I think you could enjoy this one.
Yeah, but again, like I feel like I've kind of done it before. Yep. I don't know if this, other than being Star Wars, I don't know if it builds too much on.
Oh, the last thing I wanted to bring up. So, you know, you go to a planet, you go to Naboo. There's every level has one additional level. So, every planet. So in Naboo, you could go to Theed, which, by the way, I spent 3 hours in Theed. I thought I got all the kyber crystals, and it still said 49% done. Like, what else do you want from me, you fuckers? Like, what? You know, there's just, it's crazy. It's crazy amount of content. But anyway, and there's also the Gungan City. So there's the two areas, but then every planet has the space battle of that planet. So you can go up at any time and go do the, it's actually called, this is what now that's what I call pod racing is the name of that adventure. And yeah, you can, and within that, there's a bunch of stuff. You can play free play. You can hunt the kyber crystals, just content packed more than anything I can think of right now. So much stuff. And as long as you enjoy that type of content, if it finally clicks for you, I mean, just play it until you get bored, and that'll probably be hours and hours and hours for $15.
I played Phasmophobia, and it was not planned. It was like my friend saw me on. He was like, "Hey, let's play Phasmophobia." I'm like, "Do you got 2 other people?" And he's like, "One's your wife," and I'm like, "Sure." And then the other one is a friend of ours, and I was like, "All right, cool, let's go play." And so I didn't know this. They had a huge update like 2 weeks ago. With that, they added a new map, and it's a lighthouse. And the weird thing about a lighthouse is there's only one set of stairs. And so if you're running from a ghost and it spawns in the middle and you're at the top, you can get fucked up real quick. And so you have to kind of risk management where you're at in the building, all that kind of shit. We died almost immediately after setting shit up. But we ended up playing for like 3 hours. They added a new, what is it called? A new buying system for items. It all is way more clear. Like, it's not like buy and then add and then inventory like it was before. There's a current inventory page and a buy page. That's it. You go to buy, you buy whatever you want, you go to current inventory and you press the button and it tells you who added what, which is also cool. So if you got that bum ass friend who's not adding any flashlights or anything, you can definitely see it.
This is what Bobby's been waiting for, dude. He's
back. He's back in. He's in. We got Bobby back, baby.
No, I mean, I always liked this game, but yeah, that was like the biggest problem for me, and I'm glad they did something about it. And the lighthouse is a great idea for a map.
It's such a good idea.
What's funny is that not only do they do that, the third thing they added to that menu, I know I just said there was only 2 tabs. There's a third one. I lied. Is quick loadouts. So if you can just set up a quick loadout, one of everything maybe, or just the essentials or whatever you want to do, and you can click quick loadout, and you can click add quick loadout, and it'll add all the items from that loadout into your current inventory. There's the game. They've switched some things for some of the ghosts to make them more unique, but they've also made things a little bit more confusing for some of the ghosts. Wraiths can go through walls now. Which is a type of ghost. They're now one of the most dangerous ghosts because of that. You'll be running away, you'll be going through a hallway, and you take a right, and then it just phases through the fucking wall and interrupts where you're going.
So scary.
Yeah, so we were playing, one of our friends was already dead, and Leslie was in between me. She was in a doorway, and I was in a garage, and the ghost started hunting, and we knew where the ghost was, so we knew where the hunt would start, right? Well, the ghost went through the wall and killed me. And we're like, did that just... And my friend who's dead, you can see the ghost. And he's like, dude, she just walked through the wall. And I was like, there's no way. And then we looked up on the guide, because there's like a little guide in-game. And it said, wraiths are also known for walking through walls, but it's only at a certain difficulty now.
Jeez.
Yeah. So
that is scary.
It's on sale for 25% off right now. Go pick it up. It's an amazing game. You can kill so many hours. Last thing I'll mention is that they fixed achievements, and when you launch the game for the first time, and if you played it before, what ends up happening is your game might crash because like 500 achievements might load up at once.
That's just you, Nick.
Yeah. But like it'll be like, catch a wraith, catch a demon, all this other stuff. Like do all that stuff, or not catch, but correctly guess what it is. And there's one for every ghost type. And when I logged in, it was like, and then it was like, buy the level 2 flashlight. I'm like, oh, dude, my game crashed. And I was like, I don't think it's supposed to do that. When I loaded again, it loaded like 5 more achievements, and then it worked. No problem.
There you go.
I would love to do a Friday night DLG Phasmophobia game. That would be...
Oh, yeah, I'm fucking down.
I think it's time.
Now that the inventory's fixed, we're all in, dude.
Yeah, let's see how scared Sniper and Emilio
check
get.
out this lighthouse.
But yeah.
Okay. Right. Let's get it.
So
on the radar. Wait, that's the wrong sound. What's a radar do?
Nah, I mean, that sounds like a radar. Boop. Bunch of beeps. Yep. So on the radar, these are games that have caught our attention, and I'm going to kick it off with Pixelborn Connect. So a few weeks ago, I talked about how Pixelborn, the online version of Disney Lorcana, the Disney TCG, was canceled. In response to that, the solo developer of Pixelborn came up with a new idea, a new product called Pixelborn Connect. Not as good as Pixelborn, but still a way for people to play each other online. So his idea here was basically create software that would let people with webcams they would use their webcam to show their part of the deck, and they could play, and they would probably have a mic too to communicate things. So they would play their cards. The other person would have a webcam aimed at their desk where they're playing their cards, and it mirrors these up, which doesn't sound like all that complicated. But what the program also did was it ranked. You'd report who won, what match, what deck you were playing with, or your cards. You could import your cards, and it would use this to create like a ranking and an elo system.
Dude, this guy is so impressive, dude. They need to hire this guy because, when somebody outlaws what you've been working on and you pivot so hard, and it's incredible. It's incredible what he's done, you know?
Yeah. You can't keep him down.
Yeah.
But they did. They canceled this immediately after he announced it.
Oh no! Really?
Yeah, dude.
But this is
Disney lawyers are coming for you.
Those motherfuckers, dude.
I know.
Because
sucks.
This helps sell physical cards.
I mean, I certainly don't speak for everybody, but I have like drastically lost interest in Lorcana since this happened. I don't really play too much with my girlfriend anymore. And like, I haven't bought any cards in the new sets. And it's just like, it makes it really hard for people who want to play in tournaments to test their decks and see how they're going to do. It's completely changed everything. And I don't think for the better. And there's been no word yet of Disney creating their own online version of this.
Disney being a bunch of cunts,
stuck.
Dude. That's
they
up,
they
man.
do that sometimes.
This has been around for a long time for Magic, right, Nick? Isn't there a Magic version of this? It's not
Arena.
official.
Oh, and yeah, it's not official. It's called Scry Table. There's actually another one as well. Scry Table is if you have the real cards, you put your webcam down.
That's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
That's what this
and then
is.
there's another one that you don't need the cards. That some people use, but it's kind of janky. So yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna call my Connects at Disney and tell them that they're fucking up because I don't like to make phone calls like that, but you know, when Emilio calls, people pick up.
I guess the only way to play it now is through, or online at least, is Tabletop Simulator. But
dude, I'm getting fed up that I don't have enough Commander in my life. I'm literally gonna go online and fucking get strangers to come over my house twice a month because I need to play some Commander.
Put out a Craigslist ad.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Need
so
friends.
that's what was on my radar.
Show up.
All right, Nick, what you got?
So there is a thing that has been on the Switch for a while. We downloaded it a long time ago, and I was like, you know what? We should take a look at it again because Vivian loves Super Mario, and we were like, hey, do you want to see the game that Yoshi was in? Like the first one? And she's like, oh my God, Yoshi. And so she was like, yeah, I want to see it. So we launched the game. And so on Switch, there's this SNES pretty much emulator, right? It has 71 games. There's actually some Game Boy games as well and some original Nintendo games. Now, there's a really cool feature that I like a lot, and a lot of people who use emulators also do this. Everything's been upscaled as far as like graphics go and everything, so it's kind of pretty.
Really?
Yeah, it's really clear. Like the pixel blur is not there. Like it's really clear.
Beautiful.
What's nice is that if you hold R2 and L2 at the same time, or right trigger and left trigger at the same time, you can rewind the game frame by frame for up to like 3 minutes.
What?
Yeah. So if you die in
Like
Mario,
if you die, you could just
go back.
It's like that game Braid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably better than doing a save state, load state.
Hey,
system.
Nick, send me a link for this whenever, because I want this now.
It's in the show notes, dude.
Yeah, it's I believe it's free. I can double check, or it's like yeah, it's free.
Wait, this is
$0.
official?
This is official. It's on the Switch. It's called SNES. It's just called SNES.
For free?
Yeah.
What is Nintendo doing? Have they lost their minds, dude? They could have charged.
It's the thing is, it's like all the popular games from that time, right? It's not like the obtuse ones that are
I'm
like
seeing,
$200.
Super Metroid, dude. Some really good games here. Legend of Zelda, Super Metroid, Earthbound,
Star Fox,
Super Mario World.
This is incredible.
Donkey Kong Country. Yeah.
Oh my god, dude! All right,
Basically like an emulator with all the hits.
this is sitting on the shelf digitally somewhere. Doesn't even know it's going to be bought for free for me soon.
I mean, free is still technically a purchase. It's still a license.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, I'm in. Mila's gonna love this. This is great.
Yeah,
Thank
it's awesome. It's super. Oh, by the way, so I gotta tell a little story about Vivian, right? So Vivian's been playing the newest Mario, and there's a lot of features in this game that don't exist in this one, right? For example, one of the ones is you can wall jump, so you can land on the wall and jump off and then jump off and all that stuff, right? Well, the Super Mario World does not have wall jumping, so she fell in a hole and she just slid down. She's like, I couldn't jump out, and I'm like, that's how it was back in the day, dude. And she's like, why is this so hard? But
we had to walk to school uphill both ways, and we couldn't wall jump, dude.
And we had no fucking shoes. But no, she quickly saw it as a challenge, and we have to limit how much video. Of all people, I have to limit my own child how much video games she plays. And yeah, she loves it, dude. She's like, oh my god, Yoshi can spit fire. Like, what the fuck? And I'm like, yeah, dude.
So, what's her setup, Nick? What do you have? So you have the Switch playing off of your TV?
Yeah, just a
like
TV.
that?
Yeah, downstairs.
Okay.
Living room.
Damn. I, Luna's 4. Is Luna older? A little bit older, right?
A little bit older. She's like 5 months older, 6 months older.
Luna's never played a video game, dude. Maybe I'm fucking up here.
I don't know.
I'd rather be playing video games than watching her tablet. You know?
Yeah. So that we limit her tablet time super hard for Vivian,
Yeah.
but this is not the parenting podcast. We limit her game playing to like 2 hours around that because it's pretty bad.
A problem?
Yeah. She's like, she doesn't get mad, but she's like, we're not doing nothing right now. Can I play some Mario? And I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah. All right. So, Beyond All Reason, Tagloro posted this on the radar, which is our supplementary thing that we have connected to on the radar on the podcast. So you go to our Discord. One of the many tabs we have for all kinds of cool, awesome stuff is something called On the Radar. And you post things in there. And if we like it, we talk about it. We've kind of been ignoring it lately, and that's not a good move. So I'm going to definitely be talking about things posted there a lot more. But anyway, your game might be something you're interested in. Bring the attention to us, and we'll bring the attention to everybody. Is the way it's supposed to work. Anyway. Beyond All Reason is a Supreme Commander-esque RTS. I never played Supreme Commander, but I've seen it being played, and it's very impressive, the amount of units. Generally, it's like robots fighting each other, and it's a large amount of units. It's like a planetary combat, it's like a huge battle. And so this thing is free to play right now. You can go to their website, beyondallreason.com or something, and download the client and play it. I think they're still in their playtesting phase. I don't know how they're going to monetize. There's no microtransactions or anything right now. They're just literally just trying to get players. And if you check this thing out, I have a link in there where somebody sets off like 5 nukes in a row, and it wasn't enough to like stop the enemy. But I also saw other videos where 2 nukes just wipes out an entire player, just gone. Early game. So if you get to those nukes quickly, it could really serve you. There's real physics as opposed to other games where you kill a unit and they just die the same way every time. It's a preloaded animation. These things die according to the way they were killed. You know, if a bomb goes off to the right, the parts fly off to the left. The terrain really matters here. So if you have a very steep cliff, something with tracks or legs cannot go up it, but something with 8 legs can climb that. So if you take the terrain into consideration and build the correct units, you'll be able to capitalize on things where other things are not able to capitalize. And there's like 100 units. I was just clicking around. This, how do you explain this? Like, I look at games like this and I am in awe and I love it, but I know that I don't want to ever play it because I just can't play RTSs. I am not a actions per minute. I do 1 action per minute. I do
very
really
slow
well.
actions per minute for this man.
Yes. I will arm wrestle you to oblivion in that 1 minute, but I can't do that and do addition. It's just not going to happen. So I don't, but I love watching things like this, and this game is very impressive. So thank you, Tagloro, for putting this on the radar, and that is beyond all reason or bar for the acronym.
Seems pretty cool.
All right, that's going to do it for On the Radar. Next up, we've got some listener questions. Just a few here, but let's start it off with Zap. He asks, what's your worst travel experience?
You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I have it. It's weird because, okay, so I don't know if it's my worst, but for a while there, I was going down to Mexico on the beach and getting a beach house because it was relatively cheap. And it's like 40 minutes from my house, and you have a house on the beach. I did it like 8 times in a row, like twice a year, over and over. My birthday, like I was a great time over there. So the first time JP Diddy came out and visited me, I was like, let's go do this thing that I'm very good at doing. Like I know how to do it, and it's going to be a great time. So we went down there, and it was like overcast the entire time. And his wife at the time, that he's divorced now because she's not a nice person, decided to not change her time. That like, because it's 3 hours difference, 2 hours difference between here and Iowa. So they would go to sleep at like 5 p.m. and wake up at like 3 a.m. and never decided to change their
Sleeping schedules.
Their sleeping schedules for the entire vacation. So we would hang out for like 4 hours a day. And then Mila got food poisoning, and she was like 8 at the time. She doesn't really know what's going on. She doesn't know how food poisoning works. So she got up 15 times in one night and went to go poop and was touching everything around the house. That all mixed to everybody else, and we all got dysentery, and we're all shitting ourselves. Certain people shit their pants, and then you have to try to get back to the United States, and there's 2-hour wait while you have dysentery. Like, it's not in a car, real bad. Everything about this trip. I mean, John's great. Me and him had a great time, but there was limitations to how much fun we could have.
So for me, some similar events, right? I went to Mexico, oddly enough. Went to visit my family in central Mexico. So there is no like, hey, we get to go back and have be like
Zacatecas, no?
Yeah, exactly. Zacatecas. Literally, if you get a pin and you were like, hey, put this in the middle of Mexico, you would land on there. And so one of our friends, his name's Larry. Larry is a lovable character, but he's kind of dumb, right? And we tell him, dude, there's like 2 rules. Don't go out by yourself, and do not eat the food on the streets, especially the beans. Do not eat the beans from like the street vendors. And he's like, all right, dog. So like day 1 and 2, we're in like the middle of nowhere, and he's like behaving. He's listening to the rules. And then we go to the city, and he thinks that because we're in the city, that food is still safe to eat off the street, right? Well, he eats some like bean tacos, and lo and behold, he gets food poisoning so bad that he has to stay in the hospital for 2 days. And then they send him back with my aunt, who's a nurse, and she has to take time off to take care of him for another 6 days. And this kind of ruined our trip because, like, we were like, hey, man, like, we're trying to go places. We can't just leave him at my aunt's house. We had to make audibles. Like, we couldn't go visit more family in, like, the middle of nowhere because it's, like, 3 hours away. So, yeah, it kind of ruined some of our plans. And once again, dysentery ruins everything. So.
Wow. I didn't realize the beans were such a problem down there.
So what it is, it's obviously beans are cooked in water, right? You have to steep the beans over time for hours and hours and hours. Well, what happens with all that water? It gets inside the fucking beans and it gets people super sick. Especially if your stomach's not used to it. So yeah, that was
just got to build up a tolerance.
Pretty much at that point.
All right. I don't know if I have a really bad travel story, at least not one that involves Mexico and feces. When I went to Europe last time, I got COVID on the plane back, and that was not great. What did work out is I got it on the way back. So it was like a day or two after coming back from that trip, I realized I had COVID, and like, okay, that sucks. But I at least had to deal with it here where I live and not in a foreign country. So yeah, that's about as bad as it got for me. I guess the worst is yet to come, though. I'm sure I'll have a horrible feces-filled Mexico trip in my future. All right, next question is from Pyronical. He says, today, the 30th of June, is Congo Independence Day. Shout out to all the Congolese listeners. Name one thing you know about the Democratic Republic of Congo without Googling, and good luck.
There was a rumor from the Congo for a long time that there was a dinosaur that lived there. And a lot of people went there to try to find it, that it was in the deepest, darkest part of the Congo. One of the best Joe Rogan Experience podcasts ever was the first time that David Cho was on there. David Cho is a crazy character. Just listen to his episodes where he talks about his life. He is insanely out there, and he hitchhiked across the United States and then put the money together to get to the Congo as like an 18-year-old to go look for this dinosaur, because he saw it was like in Time magazine or something, or somebody had put it out there, like possibility of this thing. So he went to go look at it and almost died in the jungle looking for this dinosaur. That's all I know.
How fucking dumb, dude.
I know.
What about you,
But
Bobby?
you know, you're 18 and you're trying to be a legend, right?
Yeah, and it's like one of those old timey British dudes from like 18, like 19, like 14, who's like in the middle of the fucking Amazon looking for like the New Guinea tribe or the Guinea tribe of the Amazon or whatever. Fuck, it's like those kind of guys, but he's looking for a goddamn dinosaur like an idiot.
Yeah. I've seen the movie Congo, and I think I read the book a long time ago, and that's about all I know about Congo.
What's the movie about, Bobby?
It's not entirely clear. I rewatched it about a year ago, and I'm like, this movie is really bad. I didn't realize it at the time, so I was like, "Ooh, Michael Crichton, cool." But yeah, it's not a good movie. It's about this treasure that's hidden deep in the Congo, and it's guarded by these like really violent apes, and these people go looking for it. Some of them for good reasons, some of them for wrong reasons, and most of them get mutilated. Yeah,
I read a couple Crichton books, and it really bothered me that it seemed like he was trying to put his political beliefs into the characters and like try to sway people. I don't know. It seemed like, or maybe it was later on. There was a time travel one that I read that it really seemed like he was pushing politics on the reader. And I was like, I don't enjoy this.
I don't like this at all.
Yeah.
So for me, the only thing I know about the Congo, and this is only because I did a project in college about the Congo, a minor one, it's the 11th most populated country in the world.
Jeez.
With 100 and I think 2 million people now. And it's not fun there sometimes. So don't go.
It's always bad, dude. And the other thing is there's so many natural resources. There's so much beauty because it's a dense jungle. It's like, when you think of deepest, darkest Africa, they're usually talking about the Congo. And nobody can go there because there's always war. Like, it's so hard to go there and just like explore and do science because it's just such a tough place to be at. There's this ex-UFC fighter that fell in love with the pygmy people there, and it's called Fight for the Forgotten. And the other Africans generally treat the pygmies as animals. They own them and they
like parade them around and shit. Yeah, it's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, it's gnarly. It's real bad. They don't have houses. They have little like straw huts. Anyway, this UFC fighter has been working for like 12 years to try to dig wells so that they can have water. And he's done a ton. He's done a ton for them. And he's gone there like 20 times. He's gotten malaria like half of the times that he went there. It's very, very impressive what he's done. He's basically just given his whole life over to these pygmies and trying to help them out. It's rough, man.
Speaking of malaria, and I want to tie this on back to gaming. Does anyone remember the Far Cry 2 or Far Cry 1 mechanic where you got malaria if you went through the mosquito piles? Or
I don't remember that.
You start off the game getting malaria in Far Cry 2.
That's what it is.
Yeah. And then, you have to constantly address that malaria throughout the game.
And it can hit you whenever, too, right? You're like...
Somebody said this on Rogan one time, and so that it must be facts, but apparently malaria has killed half of people ever.
Yeah, it's...
Half of people of all people ever.
Yep.
Dude.
Yep.
That, even if that's inflated by twice as much, 25%.
Are we talking like the bottom half?
Well, the dead half, dude.
The dead half?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
That's how crazy it is because, if you contract it where you're an infant, you don't make it.
No, it's an instant death sentence if you're below like the age of like 12.
4, I think, yeah.
All right, next question is from Yuke, and I believe this is the developer of Spec.
Yeah.
He has a listener question for us. He says, my daughter turns 13 in a month and has a growing appreciation for NES classics. It's more like a scientist being fascinated by a fossil than it is a genuine appreciation for the game itself, which pains me, but whatever. She's played Super Mario Bros., Super Mario Bros. 3, Mega Man 4, Legend of Zelda, and Castlevania. What game should I encourage her to play next?
Current games, dude. Why are you putting her through this, dude? Like...
Well, he says it's because she's like a scientist. She wants to learn about these, not the fact that she...
I get it. I mean, if you want to do it basically just for the spectacle, like have her play something like Willow or something, or E.T. Just terrible, terrible games, and this is what you have to put up with.
Well, I think you're referring to the Atari game E.T.
Yeah.
But Castlevania is a very difficult game.
Extremely.
As I recall.
Yeah.
I'm surprised she's played that one. My favorite Nintendo game is kind of like an obscure one, but it's called North and South.
That sounds like...
It's not... Yeah, it's about the Civil War. They remade it in like a mobile game, and it's not really like a campaign, like A to B type thing. Like you play against the PC, and it seems like a PvP game, but you can only play against the PC. But it's got all these different types of game modes. It's got this like RTS battle that you can have, and then it's like got a large grand strategy map where you have to put resources and troops, and then it's got, if you invade a fort, then you have to do this side scroller mission. There's all these different things. There's one where you can hijack a train. For a Nintendo game, it's pretty incredible.
She's 13,
that or Tech Mobile.
Bobby. It's a 13-year-old girl.
She's playing Castlevania. She can handle this game.
Yeah, go ahead, Nick. Oh, did you play? What is your whole experience with NES, Nick?
Because
of your age.
So NES, the first time I ever played it was actually in Mexico. And then I found out that one of my cousins had one, and he let me borrow it for like a year. So I played a lot of NES growing up. I pretty much have played every system after the NES, SNES, Dreamcast, PlayStation 1, PlayStation through 5, like all the Xboxes, all that stuff. Like, I didn't own them. I either switch consoles with a friend or I'd go over a friend's house like all the time.
TurboGrafx 16?
Huh? TurboGrafx.
TurboGrafx 6. Did you play it?
No.
Did you? No.
No.
TurboGrafx 16, for those who don't know, is the first one that went to 16-bit. The other companies were still at 8-bit when TurboGrafx went to 16-bit, and their games were on like credit card size. They were like a thick credit card. And they were so ahead of the game. Love that. I was a huge TurboGrafx guy. Anyways, you said all the consoles, so I went a little.
I mean,
deep there.
know, none of the obtuse ones, all the popular ones. Super Nintendo. I mean, Sega Dream. I mean, the regular Sega. That shit was fire. But as far as games I recommend for this question, Uke, I would say Super Mario World. If you have a Switch, download the thing that we just talked about in the show and show her all those games because there's so many fucking games in there. Especially the sequels for like Legend of Zelda. Like if she plays the second one, she's gonna be like, "Whoa!" Even these like 6 years of difference, there's gonna be a huge change. But yeah, that's what I say.
My favorites, I would say, is Kung Fu. I really enjoyed
Kung Fu classic. Early game though, very simple.
Very
simple.
Yeah,
couple buttons. That's it.
That was it. Yeah. And let's see, Rampart I enjoyed very much. That's I guess a symmetrical, I don't even know how to explain it. You shoot cannons to blow up their castle. They shoot cannons to blow up your castle, and then you build your castle back up in the meantime with like Tetris shaped blocks. So you do the best you can to, I don't know if it was 2-player. I don't remember. But it was one of the first games that talks because it says Rampart. And so that was enough to like blow my mind at the time.
The game just talked to me.
But it's a good game on its own. Yeah. But stop it, dude. Stop. Obviously, you're into like retro games because you made the most retroist game ever, and you did a really good job at it because everybody's loving it and playing it. And last week I talked about it, how you what is it called when you
devolve?
Yeah, no, that's not it. Yeah. You took it to its just most simple parts. You have a thing and you make it advance. Through harder and harder missions. You nailed it, dude. Deconstructed. That's what it's called. Sorry, I'm getting a little drunk now.
All right. Our final question comes from, you know what? Come to think of it, I think North and South you could play versus someone else. And I've just noticed there is a new version of this game that came out in 2020 on sale on Steam for $1.50. Reviews are not good, but I'm going to get it anyway.
I am curious on which of those that you listed she liked the most. Get back to us on that.
Okay, so what's everyone's choice? I'm North and South. Emilio, you're saying Rampart?
Yeah. Well, Kung Fu. Okay.
Kung Fu?
Yeah.
All right. North and South, Kung Fu, and Nick, what was yours?
I'm saying upgrade, get an SNES, Super Mario World.
Uh-huh. All right. So nothing. All right. Last question from iTom. He says, what game as a child did you play so much that you'd obliterate anyone you played against in terms of beating the game, speedrun, or PvP? For me, it was the Mario Party games on GameCube. I had those mini games on lock at the time.
The funny
which is
thing
funny.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, I made a joke like a month or two ago about like competitive Mario Party, but apparently people take Mario Party very seriously.
Well, everybody wants to win, Bobby. It doesn't matter what.
I don't know. I
they
feel
just
like Mario
announced a
Party
new one,
is,
and they just said that it's as competitive as the early ones because like the last two have been like super baby, super like everybody kind of gets everything. This one's supposed to be like super competitive. Like they're bringing back certain boards, they're bringing back all kinds of shit.
The fault of the early ones was a lot of the game, maybe 20% of the games, had to do with pushing the button as fast as you can. And if you could push your button pushes per minute was high, which I always has the highest, I just default won all those. It's not fair. Like it shouldn't be a physical ability that wins you these things. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that they got rid of that kind of stuff. But that is not the question.
No.
Hmm.
For me, ironically, it was Street Fighter 2. That was the game. That was my favorite game as a kid, and I played it more than any of my friends. And nobody wanted to play against me on it because I would always win. But nowadays, that has really changed because I haven't played a Street Fighter game in decades.
Bobby, I wish you would play fucking Street Fighter 6. It is so beginner friendly. It's incredibly beginner friendly. Just play off my account.
I just never really play fighting games anymore. I don't know. I'd try it out. I think the last one was that Dragon Ball Z game someone made me play.
Yeah. Go ahead, Nick, because I'm still thinking here.
Either Soul Calibur 3. I played so much of that at an arcade because my dad would go to the mall to buy my mom stuff, and like at least twice a week or 3 times a week, or go return stuff for my mom. That he would drop me off at the arcade, and I would just play. And so, yeah, I would say Soul Calibur 3 or Call of Duty 4. Those I played a lot of Call of Duty 4 in my life.
So I guess it's Street Fighter, but I wasn't a child. I was, when Street Fighter came out, I was like, I don't know, 13, 14 or something like that. And I was never good at it. I had friends that were much, much better than me. But I would now, when you go to like last night, we went to an arcade. By the way, it was all Japanese style, which is completely different. If you don't know about this, this is very interesting. When you play a versus game in a Japanese style arcade cabinet, you do not stand next to each other as a tradition, like an American style. In the Japanese style, you sit in something like what you would think of as a racing game, like a Crazy Taxi game,
I know what you're talking about.
But you play Street Fighter, and your opponent is on the same thing on the opposite side facing you. You can't see each other because of the screens and everything, but that's how everything was at this arcade last night. And I am very good at sitting down and destroying anybody at these things. Like people that, oh, I love Street Fighter. Like it's always like a middle-aged man that's like doing well against the computer, and I will come in and decimate them every single time. It's not even close.
I mean, you are platinum, right?
I am platinum. I am a platinum player, Bobby. Don't forget it, by the way. Just like put it in your mind. Be like, Emilio, platinum player. That's how I want you to think
That's
of me.
me.
That's me. Anyways, There you go. I hope we answered your question. I don't know if we did.
I think we did. And that's about the end of it. What's everybody playing next week? For me, it's going to be more Deep Rock Galactic Season 5, man. I'm like totally hooked again. It's ridiculous.
Love it.
I'm going to check out that North vs. South remake too. Don't expect much on that, but we'll see.
The reason I want you to talk to Soren, dude, is because the game has progressed so much, and the company has progressed so much. They're branching out in different directions, but they're also like, I'm sure that Deep Rock Galactic is still their number one.
They might be too big for us now. I don't know.
Hey, we're getting bigger too.
Yeah, we got a bunch of new listeners on Spotify.
We're triple the size that we thought we were, dude.
Hell yeah, dude.
All right,
Nick, what are you playing next week?
I'm gonna be helping my sister-in-law out, so I'll be playing some VR shit.
Yep. Hey, I want to talk about Elden Ring real quick.
What's up?
And basically the same conversation we had before the show. I just want to bring everybody up to date. So the DLC works in a very interesting way. It doesn't matter what level you are in the original game, because you're going to get decimated in this DLC. The DLC has this resource you need to gather in order to get strong. Only in the DLC. The strength will not matter in the regular game. So you need to go farm this resource that makes you stronger for the DLC to earn the right to do well there. Is that roughly right?
Yeah, I would say that's pretty much right. You kind of hit the nail on the head. There's a different level. There's like different currencies and things in the DLC. So what it is to do is that so many people in different level ranges are going to go to the DLC. So it kind of levels everybody out. But yeah, I would suggest being on level 125 if you're new to the game, which is going to take you a while to get. But yeah, check it out. It's really fun.
I just thought as a concept for a DLC, it's a really good idea because, yeah, like you said, levels it out. I am going to be playing more Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora. I'm having a good time with it, especially now that I went back to mouse and keyboard. It's beautiful and it's Far Cry, and I'm having a good time.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. More Avatar.
Yep. All right. Is that the game? That's the podcast. So speaking for Bobby, Nick, and myself, I already did this one. So Avatar titties. I don't know.